everyone, so today I wanted to have a heart-to-heart, and that is what I and my friends call it when we have like a discussion about something, whether it be like advice or talking about boys or talking about problems that we may have. And so that's going to be kind of like a new series on my channel, Little Heart-to-Hearts with Megan Hart's Makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the questions that I have for today. Today's theme for the heart-to-heart is all about boys and dealing with boys and dating. And like I said, I don't necessarily have every answer because, I mean, every guy is different, but I have a pretty good amount of advice that I can go ahead and give you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the questions actually were asked on my Facebook fan page, which I will have a link to below if you want to go ahead and check it out. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. I post all the time on Instagram. I love it, and I can follow you back if you follow me. And I also have a Twitter, but I don't use Twitter as much. So definitely Facebook and Instagram are the places to follow me if you would like to, and if you would like to be included in these little heart-to-heart questions. So I'm going to go ahead and just start off with questions that I have, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So the first question comes from Rachel, and she says, how do you get over a breakup? Now that's a very broad, open question. There are a ton of different ways to get over breakups. I'm sure you've heard watch movies, eat ice cream, that kind of stuff, but I honestly think the best way to get over a breakup is to make yourself feel better and to do something that makes you feel good about yourself. I know whenever I was broken up with, I just felt not pretty, and I felt just sad and lonely, and I think the best thing was going out and working out, maybe getting your hair done, maybe buying a new makeup item or something, doing something different with your look. I think if you do anything that kind of distracts you, number one, and also makes you feel confident and beautiful, that can kind of help ease the breakup process, and you can feel more confident and overall just kind of happier and more willing to go out and meet new people. So I would definitely say that's my biggest tip on how to get over a breakup. Alright, the next question comes from Sarah, and she says, who should text first, the guy or the girl? Now, I think this is an interesting one because I've had this in different scenarios where, I don't want to text a guy because I don't want to annoy him, I don't want to seem like I'm too eager, but the thing is, if no one texts, then you're never going to text. So you can text a guy, try not to be annoying or overbearing, maybe ask him a question, something that kind of prompts him to respond. If you just say hey, he doesn't really have anything to say back to that other than, hey, how are you? So maybe say, how was your day? Or, I don't know, if there was something you were talking about, give him a question to respond back to. And that can also be great for kind of starting conversations. So, let's say there's a basketball game on. You can say, who are you rooting for in the basketball game? Or you could say what did you do today? Or just something that he can respond to and kind of talk about himself a little bit, because I've noticed that guys do kind of enjoy talking about themselves and talking about what interests them, and that can kind of start a conversation. So definitely don't be afraid to text a guy first, because if you never text him and he never texts you, then you're never going to text. Definitely if you text him twice in a row and he doesn't respond, then I would probably not text him again. I probably wouldn't, you don't want to go ahead and be crazy and text him 100 times and be why are you responding? What are you doing? Where are you? Do you have your phone? Did you lose your phone? Did your phone die? You don't want to do that. So I think save it to a maximum maybe of 3 texts in one day without a response. But definitely don't do more than that, because there's a reason he's not responding. He either doesn't want to or he can't at the moment. So you don't want to be too annoying with texting them millions of times. So just kind of stick it to 2. Definitely 1 is better, and try to make it a question, something that he can actually respond to and engage in. The next question comes from Callie. She says, on a date, who pays, the girl or the guy? Again, I think this kind of depends on what the date is. Let's say, I'm assuming she means a dinner date. I would say whoever kind of initiates it. So obviously if the guy invites you out, you're going to kind of assume he's going to pay, but it's always polite to at least offer to pay or at least offer to split it, especially if you order something really expensive or something like that. It's polite to be oh, do you want me to pay half, or, at least pull out your wallet so they acknowledge that you're willing to pay if they would like you to help out or they would like you to pay. But I think for the most part, whoever kind of initiates the date kind of is taking on the role of paying, but it doesn't always work like that. And a lot of times, in high school, college, middle school, even if you're going out on dates in middle school, people may be short on money, so definitely be willing to pay because it's just polite to do. But there are also a lot of dates that you can actually go on that don't involve sitting down at dinner, and so you kind of don't have to pay for someone's dinner. I think there are a lot of fun things that you can do. Just get creative, and you don't have to pay a lot for them. You don't really have to pay anything at all for some dates. If you have any date suggestions, I would love to hear them below, but I know there are just tons of things that you can do that don't actually cost money. And personally, I think dinner dates can kind of be a little awkward, especially for first dates. Just can be a little bit tense, so. Alright, the next question comes from Sabina. She says, how can you be just friends with a guy? Now, I think having guys as friends are great because they can give you insight on other boys. Obviously, they are boys, so they know more about boys than I think girls do. They can also be friends with maybe the guy that you like, so that's always kind of a good plus, you know, if his friends like you, that's just, you know, helpful. But I definitely think when you're being friends with a guy and you only want to be friends, I think the main thing is you can't like hook up with them. You can't like be physical with them because I think, you know, sometimes people say like, oh, friends with benefits, like we're both on the same page, we both don't want to date each other, but we like kissing each other or we like holding hands or whatever. And I think once you start doing that, someone is going to develop feelings, whether it's you or the guy, and if you only want a friendship out of it, it's not fair to kind of make them think there's something more there when there really isn't. And obviously, normally when you kiss someone, it's because you like them, not just because they're your friend and you want to kiss them. So I would just say if you really aren't interested in having a relationship with a guy that is your friend, don't start kissing him, don't, you know, say really lovey things. You can be nice and let him know that you care about him, but just try not to make it into too much like as if you were his girlfriend, or else that's probably going to start kind of playing into his mind that you would like to date him and he might get the wrong idea and then someone might get hurt. Jamie says, what do you look for in a guy? I definitely look for someone that's fun and outgoing. I like someone that's talkative and has like a happy outlook on life. I also like someone who is pretty confident in themselves, but not like overly confident and like cocky, but just someone that is sure of themselves and like doesn't let other people affect them too much. I think, you know, with my YouTube videos, I have to have someone who kind of is confident. There have been guys that I've dated that been like gossip sites, like grab their pictures and like comment on them, and you know, when we're out in public, people might come up and like say something. So like whoever I date has to like be okay with that and like not be freaked out about that. And there definitely have been guys that I have been interested in or I've dated that really didn't like the YouTube aspect of me and kind of were turned off by that. So I definitely have to have someone that like supports that and understands that it's a big part of my life. Grace says, would a guy not like a girl because of his friend's opinions? And this kind of plays into what I just said. I definitely think that is possible. I think, you know, whether it be the guy, like his friends are trying to like warn him about a girl, or just, you know, they don't want him to have a girlfriend because they enjoy hanging out with him, you know, as guys and just a bunch of single guys hanging out. But I think the type of guy that you want isn't someone who should be too affected by their friends. Like they shouldn't let their friends decide what their feelings are for you, because they should be able to think for themselves and make their own decisions. Obviously, they can kind of listen to their friends if their friends are putting in good input, but they shouldn't just not like you because their friends told them not to. I mean, I think a type of guy that's like that is probably not someone you would want to date. And the last question comes from Carrie, and she says, how do you know if a guy is not interested, or if he's playing hard to get, or if he may just be shy? Now, I think this is a question that could pretty much make a whole nother video, and I could pretty much just go on and on about how to tell if someone just isn't into you. But I think for the most part, if a guy is putting in effort to the conversation with you, he's adding to it, he's being witty, maybe he's being kind of flirty, and then kind of pulling back a bit, that could just be him playing hard to get. And, you know, he's obviously interested but doesn't want to come on too strong. That could be him playing hard to get. But if he's like really short and flat and just not adding to the conversation, I think a lot of the times he either doesn't have a personality or he's just not very interested and doesn't want to be rude maybe, so he just kind of talks with you, but he kind of shows you that he's not really interested in the conversation with you and he's not trying to further the conversation with you. I think that's a pretty good indicator if someone's just not interested. Obviously, if you're out somewhere, you know, you're out hanging out with someone and they just pretty much straight up ignore you, you know, you attempt to go talk to them, you attempt to sit next to them, and they get up and move, I think they're probably not interested. But I think if they actually tell you that they're shy, and I've had guys actually tell me, like, candidly, like, I am kind of shy, and I think that takes kind of a lot, I think, for guys to actually admit that. And I think the type of guy that is shy and reserved is a lot different than the type of guy that's just not into you and is trying to kind of save face by not having to like explain it to you. So I hope you can just kind of read the signs, and for the most part, if a guy is interested in you, he wants you to know that he's interested in you because he wants you for himself, and he doesn't want another guy, you know, coming on to you and kind of winning you over. And I think that's a pretty good example. Of course, there are, you know, exceptions to that where some guys are just so shy, they just can't show you how they truly feel about you, but maybe they're madly in love with you. But I think for the most part, if you feel like a guy isn't into you, he probably isn't. And that's harsh and blunt, but these are hearts to hearts. And like I said, I have these heart to hearts with my best friends, and I think of you guys as my best friends. So, you know, take it from someone that cares about you and that's going to tell you the truth no matter what the question is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys like this series. If you do, please thumbs up this video so I know to make more heart to heart videos. And I've actually had a few more topics. I wanted to do one on teen drinking. I wanted to do one on like dating and sex and stuff like that that gets kind of more, you know, things that you would have heart to hearts on with your friends. So let me know if you guys have any really, I guess not controversial topics, but just any topics that you guys have that you would like me to discuss in these heart-to-heart videos. And of course, you guys would leave me the questions and then I would answer from my like personal point of view and what I think, and then you guys can converse in the comments. That's my favorite part about videos, just listening to you guys leave your feedback. And if there are any guys watching these videos and you think I answered any of these questions, feel free to correct me if I answered them wrong in your opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you very soon. And again, don't forget to leave your comments about what you would like the next heart-to-heart topic to be. Bye everyone!